All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name is Aaron, and just like always, I want to start the week off strong. I want to start the week off right. I got one hell of a video for you. Normally on Mondays, I like to hit you hard with the recent news. Today, I want to do things a little bit different. I want to share with you all sorts of perspective on this market, because basically what I maintain is that Bitcoin is a good investment because it's hard money, it's unconfiscatable, and that right now, if you know anything about market cycles, right now might be the perfect time to start looking into buying some. Wait a second, isn't Bitcoin dead? I was talking to my buddy, he said Bitcoin was dead. I saw it on TV, they told me Bitcoin was dead. Look, it crashed, right? Maybe. You're right. Over a year ago, Bitcoin was sitting at around $20,000, and right now we're around $3,700. That's an over 80% correction. Now, does that mean Bitcoin's dead? Or does that mean this might be a good time to start looking into buying some? I'm going to let you be the judge. But guess what? If you think Bitcoin is dead, you don't know Bitcoin, and you've probably been influenced by either the lamestream media or as somebody who follows it. Because what I'm about to show you right now, this is Bitcoin's price history. This is the price history and how it's been reported to you over the years by the mainstream media. So as we go through this, I want you to ask yourself, aren't you glad the mainstream media encouraged you to ignore Bitcoin all these years? Okay, check this out. So 2011, Bitcoin is 2 years old. It had just rallied up to around $30, an all-time high, and then corrected after that. I don't want to say crashed, because something, if you look into it, you'll notice that whenever Bitcoin quote unquote crashes, what that really means is it had a major correction and then consolidated at a higher price point than before. That happens every single time. So in 2011, Bitcoin rallied up to $30, then it started to correct, and right when Bitcoin was around $15, Forbes sent out to its millions and millions of subscribers, so that's the end of Bitcoin then. They're not liquid, nor a store of value, and the price collapse shows they'll not be a great medium of exchange either, as who would want to accept them, right? Bitcoin has nothing going for it. Aren't you glad that Forbes scared you away when Bitcoin was $15? Well, this crash right here, just a couple years later, looked like this. 2 years later, in 2013, or right before, Bitcoin rallied up to around $270, then corrected. So when Bitcoin was correcting, right around the time it was $110, this time Business Insider tweeted out and sent out, reported out to its millions and millions of followers, game over Bitcoin. The bubble has burst, and now all that's left is to watch its steady and inexplorable decline. So what now? It will crash and disappear like Pets.com and the Lehman Brothers, existing only in the memories of economists. Well, that crash in 2013, just a little bit later, looked like this. And in 2015, after Bitcoin rallied up to about $1,000, then entered into the 2-year 2014-2015 bear market, right around the time when Bitcoin was around $400, this time Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, reported out to its millions and millions of followers, Bitcoin will not survive. People are wasting their time with digital currencies like Bitcoin. I'll be surprised if it's even here in 5 years. Well, it was 2015 when he said it. Right now it's 2019. In 1 year, I think it's a pretty safe bet that Bitcoin's going to be around. And as you know, we just found out that JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon have just created their own cryptocurrency. So aren't you glad that JP Morgan told you back in 2015 when Bitcoin is $400, just ignore it, just ignore it? Well, that crash back then, a couple years later, looked like this. The previous crash looked like this, and the initial crash looked like this. Peanuts! So in 2017, Bitcoin rallied up to $20,000. This is that bull market that we all remember. And in 2018, and where we are right now, we are in correction mode. So in 2018, Forbes again sent out to its millions and millions of followers when Bitcoin was around 3,400, is Bitcoin going to zero? Well, at least this time they had the sense to question it. But in their writings, they say, it won't go quietly, but the recent drop may be the beginning of the inevitable and inexplorable death spiral. Future generations will read about Bitcoin in finance textbooks as a curiosity and wonder what all this fuss is about. So, right now we are still in that correction mode. Right now we are around here in the market cycle. Does this mean Bitcoin will rally again, or is this time different? Well, according to Sir John Templeton, the four most dangerous words in investing are, "This time it's different." Follow market trends and history. Do not speculate that this particular time will be any different. So is the next bull run something that's inevitable? Well, that remains to be seen. According to this original Twitter poster, each time Bitcoin has crashed 70% plus, the following cycle peak has been 5.1 to 16.89 times higher than previous. If that happens again, then the next all-time high, the next bull market will be roughly between, the next all-time high will be between $100,000 to $336,000. Roll the dice. Take the risk. Buy Bitcoin. Well, that's according to this guy right here. I'm not here to tell you whether to buy or whether to sell. My intention by sharing this with you is this. It's not to spin you into FOMO. It's not to incite euphoria. I just wanted to give you some perspective, get you thinking about this market a little bit differently. Now, do I think that one day we're going to see a 100,000 Bitcoin? Hell yeah. I actually do. Now, these are just my thoughts. I encourage you, I want you to subscribe to our channel. I want you to use us as a starting off point. I'm a long-term Bitcoin bull. That doesn't mean you have to be, but why not ask those questions? Why not get involved and seek those answers? Is Bitcoin dead? No, not even close. Even if it doesn't go to $100,000 in the next 2 years or 3 years, look, it's not dead. Bitcoin is here to stay at this point. But look into it, make your own decisions. And consider this, anytime anybody has ever got or first looked at Bitcoin, I'm sure it's always seemed too expensive for them. So if somebody got involved with Bitcoin or looked into it in 2013, oh my gosh, Bitcoin is $100. I'm too late. It's too expensive. I missed the boat. 2015 and 16, Bitcoin was what? $1,000. Oh my God, Bitcoin for $1,000. Who would buy Bitcoin for $1,000? Who would want that price point? It's too expensive. I missed the boat. And here we are today, and Bitcoin is over 80% corrected. It's a few $1,000s. It looks pretty expensive, huh? Unless you consider the past. And of course, the past is not a definitive indicator for the future, but it's just, listen, human psychology, makes it real easy to invest in the top and not so easy to invest in the bottom. So I'm just encouraging you to look at this from a different way and, of course, do your own research. Anyways, I want to finish up today by talking about Basic Attention Token. The channel is called Altcoin Daily. After all, part of the reason you subscribe to us is because we keep you informed on the different altcoins. I'm sure you noticed over the past few months that, especially me, I've been doing more stories on just Bitcoin. And the reason for that is, as I'm sure you figured it out, just the more I research and the more I look into it, and I research every single day, obviously, the more it becomes clearer to me, and this is just my opinion, that Bitcoin is the true innovation. And if Bitcoin has a 1 in 100 chance of succeeding, any of these altcoins probably have a 1 in 1,000 chance or greater. So, I don't know. I just feel like it'd be a disservice to you if I, was talking about Electronium or Bitcoin Diamond or Steam or Verge or... there are some good... I'm not saying that no altcoin will succeed in the future. I'm just saying that it's just a greater risk. There are altcoins that I think will do well. One of those is Basic Attention Token, and I'm about to share with you this interview with the CEO Brennan Eich. This makes me like Basic Attention Token even more. Now, the reason I like Basic Attention Token, a huge reason, is because I like Brave Browser, which is what I'm using right now. And they don't collect your data. They don't show you ads. And another reason I like them, I just like the concept of how in the future it would seem to be better if you got paid for your attention when you're online rather than if you were the product. So what Brennan Eich, what he really understands is that when you surf the web today, if you don't have Brave Browser, you are the product. Your data is harvested. It's sold to the highest or lowest bidder. And he's trying to change that. And I think the Brave browser is going to be really popular. And coming standard with that this introduces everybody to basic attention token. So right now, basic attention token, it recently rallied from about 11, 12 cents to about 17 cents. It's really never gone lower than about 11 cents, I believe. I guess the lowest it got was about 8 cents, but it's forming a pretty decent base around 8, 9, 10, 11 cents. We'll see. The only snag, as an investor, the only snag that somebody brought up to me the other day that kind of makes sense is that with basic attention token, since you can tip people with basic attention token, or you're given basic attention tokens for viewing ads, that's basically like you're getting free money. And we have seen time and time again, when somebody gives you free cryptocurrency, it's always dumped. You know, we've seen that with Bitcoin Cash. It got dumped hard. We've seen that with every single airdrop that somebody has ever signed up for. People immediately just dump the tokens so they can cash in for either Bitcoin or a crypto that they really care about. So it's just, I could see it would be something to consider, that when people get this basic attention token and see that, oh, I got, $10 worth of basic attention token, I'm just going to sell this right away on the exchange, dump it to get $10 US. And, just as an investor, it's an interesting question to talk about. But besides that, I do really like basic attention token. Tell you what, let me stop rambling. I want you to watch this interview with the CEO. Tell me what you think. The only other piece of news that I saw worth sharing was that Twitter CEO had set up his own Lightning node, the Casa node. You can pay a premium and not have to worry about, you can set up a Lightning node rather cheaply if you wanted to take the time. It's kind of technical, but you could do it. Or you could pay a premium, I think it's $300, get a Casa node. That's what Jack Dorsey did. Thought it was pretty cool. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you check out my brother's video on Cardano from the other day. I think it's going to be a great year for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I think we might drop a little bit more, but I do think we're near the bottom. Either way, check this out. I will see you tomorrow.
I created JavaScript in 1995 at Netscape. And the year before, somebody else at Netscape made what's called the cookie. And the year before that, the image, web page images were created. And together these created a tracking system that is kind of a nightmare panopticon now. It's a surveillance system that's used by lots of different companies you've never heard of to track you, to sell audience, to try to get ads in front of groups of people they call audiences. And this tracking system can be used for good or for ill. And if you see ads like I do using a regular browser, it's probably more toward ill. So Brave blocks ads and tracking by default. But we realize that publishers rely on advertising. We want to have users pay publishers or give back to publishers any revenue they get from private ads. So Brave makes it possible to opt into a system of rewards called Brave Rewards using the basic attention token. You can give your favorite creator a tip, you can support them with regular donations, and coming in our development channel, you can get private ads that do not track you. And if you get a revenue share from those ads, you can give it back to your creators, you can take it out, you can do what you want with it. So it's a new way of funding the web that doesn't require tracking, and that means the browser's a lot faster because all those tracking scripts, JavaScript, my bad 90s kid, take a lot of battery life running the radio, signaling all your data out to various trackers. So when we block that, we save lots of battery life. So we're working with TAP Ad Network, Trezorit, Uphold, and our search engine partner in France and Germany, Quant. And we're very happy that they're present in our booth here at Mobile World Congress. The beautiful thing about blockchain-based cryptocurrencies is that users can send directly to publishers. Advertisers can send directly to publishers and even give a revenue share to users, which is part of what we're building. We've allowed the ad revenue to go to the user, and you can do this with blockchain-based cryptocurrencies. You can't really do it with conventional money or credit cards or banking connections. It's very hard to get people to sign up for anything in the first place, and then there are regulations around holding money in the middle, transmitting money. But with blockchain, there's no intermediary, it goes direct. So peer-to-peer money, if you will, or tokens in our case, which can be turned into money, is a crucial part of our system. We want users and creators to be happy, and we think advertisers should be there too, because advertising is a huge amount of money. It's over 100 billion last year in the United States alone for digital advertising. A lot of ad fraud, unfortunately. A lot of it gets stolen away by fake sites and bots, robots. So we think advertising cannot be counted out as a means of funding, but it has to be reformed. It cannot be based on this tracking surveillance system I mentioned that actually facilitates fraud, as well as malware and troll armies and psychological warfare and all the bad things everyone's mad at Facebook about.